All right. Let's see if this is better. Yes. Seems that way. Okay, cool. There we go. All right. Hopefully this works. Hopefully. Okay, cool. I had to check my audio. All right, seems like we are up and running. Hopefully the echo should be gone. Or pretty sure it is based on what I saw. Or what I heard when I pulled it up. Hey, how's it going? I do not. Well, I use so I use this weak aura that was released that Phosphorus made early on in the tier, and that just shows here, swap arcane. And that shows your like barrage travel time. But in terms of macros, I tried very briefly to macro Magi and Barrage together, but I found it to be a little unresponsive. But so this shows travel time, and then that little white line is when the aura suggests that you cast Magi. Yeah. That is about... I assume you're referring to the Barrage Magi, just the Barrage Magi combo, like that changeover. Because that's all it's the only weak aura I use for that. Just the Barrage Magi combo, like that changeover. Because that's all it's the only weak aura I use for that. My star sign, I guess AMA isn't specific to Mage, but I get Leo. Is that? I think I'm not really up on that information. Born in August though. I gotta say, the more I've been playing Fire, I am quite looking forward to seeing how it scales next tier. I enjoy Arcane a lot, but the current iteration of Fire actually feels pretty good. Is Leo really common? I haven't tried Fire for Raz, because we just got the kill, and I'm not actually sure we're gonna be re-clearing it for a little bit. But so long as Bus lines up for the shields in phase 2, I could see Fire being pretty good. And then for Broodkeeper, I see all 3 specs as solid. Because I mean, I didn't actually prog on Broodkeeper, I haven't killed it yet. But from what I looked at and what the other mage in my guild told me, it's the fight kind of happens around you. So with good uptime, all 3 specs are really solid right now. So with good uptime, all 3 specs are really solid right now. But I think Bust, the cooldown on Bust is like almost low enough for Fire to just be insanely strong, like consistently low enough. That, and then the duration on Feel the Burn, 5 seconds. I gotta say, I am kind of disappointed that this didn't become a thing. I kind of liked the idea of having a lot faster casted pyros. Pepperoni, because I'm lazy. I don't get creative. Yeah, once fire gets a lot of haste, it's just gonna be so good. Just because look at how much of that is ignite. 8.3 fire. On its way back. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? Oh, I just remembered. I need to get me one of them well-fed things. What are those called? No. Yeah, sure. So I know less about Frost. I'll start with that and go over it. My understanding is a lot of the damage from Frost comes from Icicles right now, which is Mastery. So I think for Frost, it's like Mastery heavy, and then crit and haste. The crit is going to be for like your... Why's my mind? Icy Propulsion. I was confusing it with Thermal Void. The crit is going to help Icy Propulsion and your Icy Veins cooldown reduction keep rolling. And then, yeah, so I think it's Mastery. I can actually pull up the... These are generally a good place to start. Anyways. Oh, yeah. Mastery, crit, haste. There you go. So, Icicle damage. Again, I'm blanking. Icy Propulsion. Why is my brain not working properly on that? Icy Propulsion, cooldown reduction, and then, you know, haste so it doesn't feel super slow. And then for fire, it's pretty much just haste mastery right now. The big reason for that is because a lot of our damage comes from... Well, as fire, like the majority of it is ignite. It's pretty wild in cleave, and it even does a lot single target. Like ignite's just hitting really hard. So stacking mastery, along with maintaining this buff and all of that. So this is how it breaks down for me. So I have more haste than mastery at the moment, and I'm looking forward to secondary stat budgets going up in the future because. Yeah, fire's going to feel real good when we get a lot more haste and a lot more mastery. But crit, you don't really need or want much of. I would be happy to get rid of some crit. You do get more value from it, but usually with fire, crit is one of those things where if you can get enough of it to like get a lot of extra crits, which is, I don't know, probably 70% plus, which is not entirely realistic anymore. Otherwise, if you can't get that much, you want to lean into either haste verse or haste mastery. And right now, with ignite damage being what it is, haste mastery is the go-to. And then for arcane, I found in playing this tier that about 25% crit seems like a good target. I like personally at least 20% haste. Haste has a little bit of a feel good component to it, just because of the duration of the ramp. But I think when I got above 22% was when I started feeling like I had a little bit of breathing room, or a little bit of room for like, ice flows to activate, whatever, during the spark ramp. And then mastery is more of a avoid going stat, but high mastery feels really good, and it actually opens up or it increases the damage that you're going to get from the mana gem build. So I like the idea of having like at least 20% haste, then probably 24+% mastery, and around 25% crit. And like just use that as like a general like ratio of stats. The haste is probably going to be the one. Haste and mastery are going to be the two that are going to affect like how the gameplay feels mostly. But yeah, that's my overview. You have any questions? Yeah, for sure. I hope that wasn't too rambling. Oh, you know what I could do? Somebody told me that the dragon riding or the race quests are actually good money. Minimum haste. I would say, I mean, I don't know this for sure. This is totally ballpark off the top of my head, but I would say probably 18%. Just because, actually, let's see. A big determining factor on fire feeling good or not good is generally the duration of your pyrocast. So I'm at what, 3.6 seconds. And I have 23% haste. So let's see what happened. I have 19% haste. Okay, 3.8. So yeah, if you get down 16, yeah. So I would say probably 18% haste because, oh, you can't see the tooltip. I'm gonna have to consider that in the future. Anyway, so the pyrocast right now with 16.7% haste is 3.9 seconds. With the feel the burn duration being 5 seconds, I would say, yeah, probably 18 plus. Ideally 20. But fire benefits a lot from having a lot of haste, so it's kind of more of the more you can get, the better. Because once that pyrocast is taking so long that like it's impossible to keep the field of burn up, that really starts feeling bad. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I actually really wish I could drop some crit for haste. Well, I could. I just don't have it in me to recraft. Because I don't have time to make gold. So I could swap this. I should swap that out. During Shadowlands, when we had the right at the end of Shadowlands, when you had the big stat budget, I think I was at like 42% haste, and that felt really good for SKB. And that was without ice flows. Ice flows is just, it makes the hard casted pyros just feel so much better. Like I've gotten in a habit of, I probably use too many charges doing this, but I've gotten a habit of like every time I have a pyroclasm proc in a key, I'll usually, and I can get it during bust, I'll usually use an ice flows charge to protect it, just because it just feels so good to be able to do that. Like this, right? Ice flows, and then being able to just cruise and reposition. Such a huge quality of life thing. I will say the only downside to fire being like, or ignite fire being the main big focus. It's better than flame patch because it's not ground effect AoE, but your target dies too quick or the key's too low, stuff like that, it can make it feel a little bad in keys. But then on the other hand, we're gonna have greater invis and caught, which is insane and has felt pretty amazing in keys, if I'm honest. Because I actually find when I play fire, I proc cauterize on cooldown. Maybe because I'm rusty, or maybe because I know it's there, so I play risky. I don't know. All right, let's make some gold real quick. They definitely did a good job with this part of the game because it like feels challenging and it's actually kind of rewarding when you pull it off. Best plus or best mythic plus spec. Oh, I missed one. Having not played Frost, I can't say for sure that Fire is better than Frost, but having played a lot of Fire and Arcane, I'd say Fire is better than Arcane, not necessarily because of the damage or anything other than it's just easier to play. So I think it like meshes better with more comps overall, and it's just a lot less can go wrong with the damage, you know, because it feels really bad to like have a positioning thing go bad with Arcane and then you just barraged it in cleave or something and you lose a whole bunch of damage. So I think Fire over Arcane in terms of, you know, if the damage profile is very similar, so if Fire does the same damage, the kit's usually a little bit, it just feels better. It's easier to work with. And then my understanding is Frost wrecks. I haven't had the time to really read up on Frost because I've been getting back into Fire and focus on other stuff, but like I think Frost, given the ability to kite and how much utility it brings in that sense, plus having Cold Snap with extra block immunity, I'd say Fire and Frost is kind of preference. Because I haven't seen or heard anything that says that Frost is, or like the Frost damage is bad enough at all that I've actually heard that Frost is insane right now. I just don't know exactly how that happens. Like, I don't know what the majority of the damage is. I assume it's the Kona Cold Burst, but I don't actually know. Because I don't feel I have a better option than the Talon. No, it's not for the verse. It's mainly for the 2 minute. Yeah, because this one is, to be honest, I would prefer the haste from Talon, but the 2.5 minute, it just syncs up really weird in keys. But I have to say, I am looking forward to getting rid of Horn of Valor. I need to look into trinket options when I have, and I'm even considering just not using it anymore for this because watch like, let's see. I'm gonna hit the trinket. I'm gonna start bust, and then I'm gonna hit the trinket like mid bust, and watch the casting animations. There's like a little bit of a delay. It's really annoying. Like all of a sudden, like the character is like doing his little move, but the spell's not going out, and it doesn't go out until the end of the global. It's so weird. So I will probably not be using this for much longer, but the main thing was the main stat on a 2-minute timer. Yeah, I have no idea how to get rid of the appearance, and no bueno. So is the majority of frost damage right now just like icicles and ice lance? And it kind of plays similar to how it used to. Just shatter your orbs, shatter your... really orbs for the most part. Because you use procs for most everything else. It's cool. Yeah. That, it makes me think of, especially because of shifting power, it just makes me think of back when I was pushing as Frost in season 3, 2? I can't remember in Shadowlands. But it's kind of like weaving Orb, Blizzard, Nova, Orb, Blizzard, Nova. Like, yeah. The only major difference from the last time I pushed as Frost was Icy Propulsion was AoE. It procced off AoE. And I'm glad that they changed that. I found it interesting. I was reading up on Frost a little bit the other day, and I found it interesting that... what was it? You have to have 70% haste or something like that to shatter... AoE rotation. 50% more haste. That's interesting. I like that because I've always wondered that, especially with the Kona Cold thing. So you have to. I've actually also wondered if taking the Kona Cold freeze talent in the general tree causes it to shatter itself, but I assume the damage hits and then the freeze is applied. But yeah, I remember on beta actually, like I was really looking forward to how much you can shatter, and also actually let's see. Curious if this. Oh, it does. Yes. Okay, that's one target. Oh, but it's not an AoE, which makes sense because you're not ice lancing that much. I had a theory early on that this talent right here just gives you tons of Frost Novas, but I assume you're like GCD capped right now. Yeah. Like I assume haste isn't high enough right now to where you have tons and tons of globals in AoE. I am quite bummed that Glacial Spike never became a thing. Still holding out hope someday. Mainly because of ice flows. That would be quite a good time. God, I just remember that back in 8.3, when I had more time on my hands, I spent a lot of time at the dummies just seeing how high I could get my ignite. I think I got it up to 1 million at one point back then. I can't remember. But it's good times. Wow, would you look at that? I was able to keep up. Oh, it's about to drop. Nope. Yeah, with some lucky RNG, you can really keep field burn up for quite a bit. Look at that. Bust is back up. 56 seconds. There's actually a big part of me that wonders if like high stat budget haste arcane could be an interesting play. I think it would too, but like that's the only direction I could see it going. That's why I'm thinking like it would basically be a mana gem build. The like super high haste, super high mastery. But that's really the only direction. I was talking to the other mage in my guild about it. That's really the only like thing I could see arcane scaling well with. I mean higher crit, yeah, but basically because of that, I see Fire and Frost just pulling ahead for sure as we get higher item level. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this office hours just a little bit early today. Did you have any final questions? Seems like too much going on. Awesome. Well, I will be here next Saturday at 1 p.m. PST. Same thing. Feel free to drop by and ask whatever. Mythic Plus. Doesn't matter. All right. Have a good one.